Got Brenton Ragless here from Channel 9. He's coming to share a bit about his Year 12 experience with us. So welcome, Brenton.
Thank you. Again, thanks for having me. It's great to be with you. Don't laugh, but I always wanted to be a steam train driver. And funny as things should happen, because as time's gone on, I have actually become a steam train driver. I've got my boiler's ticket and I drive steam trains at the National Railway Museum. I grew up next to the railway line in Eden Hills and seeing the heritage tourist steam trains take on water at Blackwood. So it was just something I always wanted to do, and eventually got my licence to drive trains, and to this day do a bit of work with Steam Ranger and the Pitcherichy Railway. Well, I went to Blackwood Junior, Blackwood Primary and Blackwood High, so it was the trifecta, and I finished there, can you believe this, 27 years ago I was doing Year 12 in 1993. So I'm now 44, and it only feels like a few years ago. And you know, at the time you're kind of busting to get out of school and make your start in life, but you know, 12 years, it feels like a long time. It's really only short in the scheme of things. And you know, you feel like you've got your whole life ahead of you, and that's true. But you've got to treasure the time, the moment that you're living in Year 12, because you know, it really is a wonderful time of your life. A career in television wasn't even on the radar. In fact, I was pretty clueless and with no clear career path in mind. I started working in fruit and veg at the local supermarket in Blackwood, and I actually put my hand up as a volunteer in both the CFS and in community radio while I was doing fruit and veg at the supermarket. And then I did eventually get into the tourism course and got my bus driver's licence, because I already had my truck driver's licence with the CFS, to take people on bus tours of, you know, the Adelaide Hills, Barossa Valley and Victor Harbour. So out of working at Coles and taking people on bus tours, my first full-time job came about voicing the forecasts all around the country for Telstra's phone weather service. And it actually opened the door for me to become a full-time media spokesperson, promoting the efforts of our volunteer firefighters and dealing with all those natural and man-made disasters. Went to uni later in life and did a Masters in Communication. After finishing that and my time in the CFS and working very closely with Channel 9 and other media outlets, the door had opened to become the weather presenter at Channel 9. So presented the weather with them for about 6 years until they moved me to the news desk. And I don't love it for the lights and the cameras, but purely for sharing the daily events that go on in our society. You know, I had absolutely no idea of what I would be doing today, and so I find it very surprising actually that I mean, I even look back and I even surprise myself. And you've got to think of it this way, I mean, life is a gift, isn't it? If I were to give you a birthday or Christmas present wrapped in Glad wrap, I mean, oh, this is great, but where's the excitement in that? Where's the element of surprise, or where's the faith or the trust that it's all going to be what you want it to be? You know, so life is like that. If I was told in high school, hey Brenton, this is how your life's going to play out, if all of that was told to me, it wouldn't have happened. You know, I would have lost patience, I would have lost tolerance, and probably things wouldn't have happened. The relationships that were needed to get me to this point along the way wouldn't have happened. There's something about delighting and not knowing that there is that element of surprise, the element of trust and faith in your journey along the way. And so I'm glad someone didn't actually tell me what was going to happen. For me, it was the friendships. I mean, you're with your mates every day. You're, you know, playing sport out in the oval, and you're in the same area as all your friends. And while I still catch up with a lot of the school friends, it's not like it was back then when you're with them every day and you're sharing your life, you're sharing your lunch. You know, it's just a great season of life. I think not knowing. I mean, it's funny to laugh about now, but you kind of think back to Year 12 and I was burning the midnight oil and with assignments, as everyone does, and I really procrastinated too. You know, I would be just trying to get assignments done the night before. I just find myself busy doing other things up until the time that it was due. That part of life has never actually changed for me, unfortunately. You know, I'm glad I went through that pressure. While it would have been great to have had that pressure taken away from me in Year 12 and have all the answers, I'm glad it wasn't, because it shaped who I am today. And through that, you build resilience. You're growing as a person. You become stronger. No, it's not your most important year. It's a crucial milestone, no doubt about that. I think every year is the most important year of your life. Every year is a learning opportunity for you, and you're going to grow and strengthen from that. Now, Year 12, that was a major milestone. I was thrilled to get to the end of Year 12, but how does that compare to having my first child, having 2 children, being married to my wife, our holidays, the house we bought, you know, all those experiences, they all amount to the best year of my life. This is about making the best life you have, not about the best year that you've got. You are uniquely positioned for what you're going to be doing in life. For me, it's train driving, it's being a volunteer firefighter, taking people on bus tours, doing the news and the weather and so on. So you're carving out your own niche, you're carving out who you are. Yes, it's the human race, but it's not a race. You know, you really need, when you finish school, the endurance and stamina to live out your whole life. Because, you know, really Year 12 and your whole school is just a piece of the puzzle of the bigger picture. I've always said that from the age of 18 to 30, you're enrolled, whether you like it or not, in the University of Life. You're really a sponge, because while you've had your proper education in school, where you're really going to learn the most is through your life experience, the building of relationships, and it's not all positive. It's a lot of ebbs and flows, ups and downs, and there's a lot of hurt along the way. From 18 to 30, you're still growing, you're still learning, you're in the University of Life. Now, sadly, you don't walk out at the age of 30 with this master's degree at the University of Life, but you're better for the experience. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to be scared and frightened at the end of Year 12, because you don't know what comes next. But that is the story of life altogether. You don't know what comes next. And that is part of the excitement and thrill that you'll kind of learn to help grow you and strengthen you and build your resilience. So don't shy away from the anxiety. Yes, it's okay to be anxious, and you want to be able to, you know, find help to deal with that anxiety. So you don't want to run away from it, but at the same time you still want to find methods to be able to help you deal with that anxiety. And for me, it was listening to music or reading other books, or just finding ways of having some downtime built into your day. Just look after yourself. Trust your gut. Right now is a wonderful key time of your life, and it's not a means to an end. You don't want to rush through school just say, hey, yeah, I've finished school, I'm out. What comes next? Treasure the friendships you have at the moment, the place that you're living in, the teachers around you. You know, school is a valuable time, and you don't want to rush that. It is a time of your life to be treasured. Keep your head up, finish strong, because your whole life is ahead of you, but don't let that pressure get to you. You've got this.